Did you ever have a moment when the illusion of love shatters, leaving you staring at the truth? My name is Natalie Wells, and on my 34th birthday, that moment hit me like a tidal wave, soaking my $3,000 dress in cranberry juice and staining my heart with betrayal. I'm a marketing executive in Chicago, living in a high-rise overlooking Lake Michigan, my life a testament to years of grinding through late nights and relentless ambition. I've built a career from nothing, climbing to executive director at a top Midwest firm, my apartment filled with curated elegance, my garage housing a sleek car earned through my latest promotion. But my family, my mother Patricia, my sister Vanessa, and my niece Sophia, see me as a bank, not a beacon. They lean on me, month after month, with calls for rent, car repairs, or dance recitals, draining my accounts while offering little but resentment. I've loved them fiercely, hoping one day they'd see my worth beyond my wallet. That hope led me to plan a lavish birthday dinner at Chicago's most exclusive restaurant, Alinea, wearing a cream silk Stella McCartney dress that shimmered with my dreams of their approval. I stand in front of my mirror now, the dress hugging my frame, my hair in soft waves, imagining their faces lit with pride. But something in my gut whispers of trouble, a shadow of doubt I push aside. If you're watching this, drop a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're from, because you won't believe what happened next. I've always been the responsible one, the one who left our small hometown for Chicago while Vanessa, 3 years older, stumbled through life. She got pregnant with Sophia at 20, dropped out of college, and cycled through boyfriends and dead-end jobs. I never judged her, but I became her safety net. Nat, the landlord's threatening eviction, she'd say. Or, Sophia needs new dance shoes. I'd wire money, pay off credit card bills she ran up on designer bags or spa days, $78,000 over 5 years, not counting the $32,000 sedan I bought for Sophia, registered in my name for insurance. Family helps family, right? My mother set this pattern early. At childhood piano recitals, my flawless performances got a distracted nice job, while Vanessa's stumbles earned ovations for effort. My scholarships were lucky, my promotions a concern I worked too hard. Meanwhile, Vanessa's financial disasters were excused. She was doing her best. When I shared my latest promotion to executive vice president, Mom praised Vanessa's vague plan for online classes instead. Yet I loved them, believed they'd one day see me. That belief fueled my birthday plan, a private dining room at Alinea, reserved months in advance, my friends Kate, Jasmine, Daniel, and Ryan invited alongside my family. I wanted them to see the life I'd built, to finally understand my value. Planning that dinner was my obsession. I called Alinea the second reservations opened, securing the room like a prize. The dress took 4 weekends to find, cream silk, crystal beaded, a $3,000 symbol of who I'd become. The saleswoman smiled as I twirled, asking about the occasion. My birthday, I said, at Alinea. She nodded approvingly when I mentioned no husband, just me celebrating me. Invitations went out 6 weeks early. My friends replied with excitement, offering to help plan. My family was less enthusiastic. Mom called it a long drive for a Thursday. Vanessa complained about Sophia's dance schedule and needing money for her outfit. I offered a car service, funds for a dress, anything to make it work. Deep down, I knew their promises to try meant little, but I clung to hope. The morning of my birthday, I woke buzzing with anticipation, indulging in a spa day. Massage, facial, hair, makeup. By 6 p.m., I stood transformed, the dress perfect, my reflection radiating confidence. I imagined my family walking into Alinea, seeing me at the head of the table, finally proud. The restaurant staff greeted me warmly. "Happy birthday, Miss Wells," champagne chilling as requested. My friends arrived at 6:30, their hugs and gifts, beautifully wrapped, thoughtful, warming my heart. Kate whispered, "You look stunning." But by 7:15, my family hadn't shown. I checked my phone, nerves tightening. Jasmine asked if we should wait. "No," I said, forcing a smile. "Let's start." The first course arrived, and I tried to focus on my friends' laughter, but the empty chairs loomed. Something was coming. And it wasn't the celebration I dreamed of. At 7:45 p.m., as the second course of delicate crab ravioli arrived, my family finally swept into Alinea's private dining room, their presence more like a storm than a celebration. My mother, Patricia, led the way, her familiar semi-formal dress hanging loosely, her expression one of mild inconvenience. Vanessa trailed behind, irritation etched on her face, muttering about traffic. Sophia, my 17-year-old niece, slouched in last, phone in hand, her crop top and miniskirt jarring against the restaurant's elegance. "Sorry we're late," Mom said, not sounding sorry at all. The staff reset their places with practiced grace, but the air grew heavy. My friends tried to bridge the gap, Daniel asking Sophia about her dance, Kate complimenting Mom's earrings, but their responses were curt, Sophia barely looking up from her screen. I sipped my wine, the crisp tang doing little to ease the knot in my chest. I'd spent my life chasing their approval, pouring money and heart into a family that seemed to resent me for it. Looking back, I see how desperate I was, how every dollar I sent was a plea for love. If you're watching this, please share in the comments how you've dealt with family who take more than they give. You won't believe how this night unraveled. My role as the family anchor started early. Growing up in our small Illinois town, I was the diligent daughter, studying late while Vanessa partied. At 20, she got pregnant with Sophia, dropped out of community college, and leaned on Mom's excuses and my eventual success. I moved to Chicago at 22, clawing my way up in marketing through 60-hour weeks, sacrificing friendships and sleep. My Lake Michigan apartment, with its floor-to-ceiling windows, was my reward, as was my wardrobe of tailored suits and that gleaming car from my last promotion. Vanessa, meanwhile, bounced between boyfriends and minimum-wage jobs, calling me monthly. "Nat, the car broke down," or "Sophia needs new costumes." I paid $47,632 in transfers over 5 years, plus $31,418 on a credit card I gave her for emergencies that turned into spa days and designer purses. When Sophia turned 16, I bought her a $32,000 sedan, safe and reliable, registered in my name. "You can use it until graduation," I told her, her scowl at use a warning I ignored. Mom enabled it all, praising Vanessa's big heart while dismissing my achievements. My scholarships were luck, my promotions a sign I worked too hard. When I called about my executive vice president role, Mom pivoted to Vanessa's online course plans. "She's so brave," she said, while Vanessa mocked my fancy office over the phone, Sophia gagging in the background. Yet I loved them, convinced one day they'd see me. That's why this birthday felt different. I wanted to host a night that screamed success, believing the elegance of Alenia and my cream silk dress would make them proud. I planned with precision, calling Alenia 3 months out, snagging the private room like a trophy. The dress hunt was a pilgrimage, 4 weekends, countless boutiques, until I found the Stella McCartney sheath, its crystal beading catching the light like my fragile hopes. "Special occasion?" the saleswoman asked, folding it into tissue paper. "My birthday," I said, "celebrating me." She smiled, no judgment, just approval. Inviting my family was harder. Mom grumbled about the drive, Vanessa hinted at Sophia's dance practice and needing money for a proper outfit. I offered solutions: a car service, funds for a dress, swallowing their lukewarm promises. My friend's enthusiasm balanced it out. Kate, my college friend and pediatrician, texted outfit ideas. Jasmine, from work, offered to coordinate desserts. Daniel and Ryan, my neighbors, promised a surprise gift. Their excitement fueled mine, but doubt lingered. I'd spent years as the family ATM, my generosity met with resentment. What made me think one dinner could change that? The morning of my birthday, I woke at dawn, my apartment glowing with Lake Michigan's reflection. I treated myself to a spa day. Massage, facial, hair styled in loose waves, makeup subtle yet striking. By 6 p.m., I stood in my dress, the silk cool against my skin, feeling like the woman I'd worked to become. I imagined my family walking in, their eyes widening at the private room's crystal chandeliers. My friends' laughter filling the space, Mom finally saying, "I'm proud of you." But as I drove to Alenia, my hands gripped the wheel a little too tightly. I'd ignored the signs for years. Vanessa's snide remarks, Sophia's entitlement, Mom's deflections. Tonight, I told myself, would be different. The staff greeted me like royalty. "Happy birthday, Miss Wells," their warmth easing my nerves. My friends arrived, their hugs and gifts, a leather portfolio, a spa weekend grounding me in love. But as 7:15 passed with no family, my phone silent, I felt the first crack in my carefully built hope. "They'll come," I whispered to myself, but the empty chairs at the table told a different story. The clink of wine glasses and my friend's warm laughter filled Alenia's private dining room, but the 3 empty chairs mocked my hope as the clock ticked past 7:30. I forced a smile, nodding at Kate's story about her latest pediatric case, while my eyes flicked to the door. My $3,000 Stella McCartney dress shimmered under the chandelier's glow, but my chest tightened with each passing minute. I'd poured my heart into this night, believing the elegance, the effort, the sheer weight of my success would finally make my family see me. But as the second course arrived, tiny plates of crab ravioli drizzled with truffle oil, I felt the dream slipping. My friends sensed it too. Jasmine's gentle, "Should we wait?" was met with my quiet, "No, let's start." By 7:45, just as I took my first bite, the door swung open. My mother, Patricia, strode in, her worn, semi-formal dress a stark contrast to the room's opulence. Vanessa followed, her face sour, muttering about traffic. Sophia trailed last, eyes glued to her phone, her crop top and miniskirt screaming defiance against Alenia's refined air. Their arrival didn't bring relief, only a heavier dread. If you're watching this, please share in the comments a time you hoped for family unity but got chaos instead. You won't believe how this night imploded. The staff moved swiftly, resetting places and serving my family's first courses. But the mood shifted. My friends tried to bridge the gap, Daniel asking Sophia about her dance, Kate complimenting Mom's earrings, but their responses were clipped. Sophia shrugged, barely looking up, while Vanessa answered in monosyllables. Mom interjected, "Sophia's extremely talented, could go professional," her pride bypassing me entirely. I offered to research Chicago dance programs for Sophia, hoping to connect, but Vanessa snapped, "We can't all afford luxury high-rises, Natalie." The table fell silent, my friends exchanging uneasy glances. Ryan raised an eyebrow, but I shook my head. "Don't engage." The meal continued, my friends' warmth a lifeline against my family's chill. They shared stories of my kindness, my work ethic, trying to steer the night back to celebration. My family sat stiffly, Sophia texting under the table, Vanessa rolling her eyes at every compliment I received. The contrast was stark. My friends saw me, while my family seemed to resent the very success I'd hoped would unite us. When the toasts began, my heart lifted briefly. Kate raised her glass, her voice warm. "To Natalie, my rock for 15 years, your kindness matches your drive." Jasmine and Daniel followed, their words wrapping me in love. Then Mom's turn came. "Happy birthday, sweetheart. 34 already, time flies," she said, her tone flat, no mention of my achievements. Vanessa's toast was worse. "To my little sister, always reaching for the stars while we stay on the ground," her words dripping with sarcasm. Sophia didn't bother, her fingers flying over her phone. I swallowed the sting, focusing on my friends' gifts, a leather portfolio from Kate and Jasmine, a spa weekend from Daniel and Ryan, each thoughtful and personal. Vanessa's gift was a $10 clearance candle, still in its discount bag, with a gas station card scrawled with their names. "Thank you," I said, my voice steady despite the ache. "We can't all afford fancy presents," Vanessa said defensively as if I'd criticized her. The dessert course arrived, a chocolate masterpiece with "Happy Birthday, Natalie" in gold leaf, a sparkler drawing eyes from nearby tables. For a moment I felt pride. This was my life, built from scratch. But Sophia's expression darkened, her whispers to Vanessa and Mom laced with something sharp, their glances at me chilling my blood. "Everything okay?" I asked, keeping my tone light. "Just fine," Mom replied, but Sophia's eyes locked on mine, cold and calculating. "I'm glad you could come, Sophia," I offered, extending an olive branch. "Must be nice to waste money like this when people are starving," she shot back, her voice cutting through the room. Vanessa's "be nice, it's her birthday" lacked any real reprimand. My friends shifted uncomfortably, Daniel clearing his throat to change the subject. Then it happened. Sophia grabbed her cranberry cocktail, a non-alcoholic version made just for her, and stood. "You want to know what I think of your fancy dress, your fancy restaurant, your fancy life?" she said, voice rising. Before I could react, she flung the drink at me. Cold liquid hit my chest, splashing my face, soaking the cream silk in red streaks like a wound. The room froze. "Now you look as cheap as you really are," Sophia sneered. My friends gasped. Daniel half stood, but I raised a hand to stop him. Every eye in the restaurant was on us. I waited for Mom to scold her, for Vanessa to apologize. Instead, Mom patted Sophia's hand. I think we should go, she said, as if I'd caused the scene. This was all a bit much, Natalie. Teenagers get uncomfortable. Vanessa grabbed her purse. We told you this place was too fancy. They walked out, leaving me dripping, humiliated, my dream of family love shattered in a pool of cranberry juice. The restaurant's silence pressed against me as I sat, cranberry juice dripping from my chin, staining the white tablecloth beneath my ruined $3,000 dress. My friends' faces were a blur of shock and sympathy, but the weight of my family's betrayal, Sophia's cruel act, Vanessa's complicity, Mom's enabling pat, crushed the hope I'd clung to for years. I dabbed at the silk with a napkin, knowing it was futile, and forced a smile. "Well, I guess the party's ending early," I said, my voice steady despite the tremor in my chest. Kate slid into the chair beside me, her arm around my shoulders. "Natalie, that was unacceptable," she whispered. Jasmine quietly arranged with the waiter to settle the bill and pack the desserts, while Daniel and Ryan flanked me like bodyguards as we left, the other diners' pitying glances burning my skin. In my apartment, alone with my friends, I finally let the tears fall, the crimson-soaked dress a symbol of my shattered fantasy that my family could love me for me. If you're watching this, please share in the comments a time you realized someone you loved didn't see you. You won't believe what I did next. The drive home was a haze, the city lights blurring through my tears. I kept my composure until my apartment door closed, then sank onto the couch, the dress clinging wetly to my skin. Kate handed me a tissue, her eyes fierce. "They don't deserve you," she said. Jasmine nodded, her voice soft but firm. "You've given them everything, and they threw it back in your face." Daniel poured me a glass of water, his husband Ryan adding, "You don't have to keep doing this." Their support anchored me, but the pain of Sophia's words, "Now you look as cheap as you really are," echoed with every heartbeat. I'd spent years funding Vanessa's luxuries, Sophia's car, Mom's excuses, believing it would earn their pride. Tonight proved they saw my success as a mirror to their failures, not a gift to celebrate. As my friends left, promising to check in, I sat alone, still in the stained dress, and opened my phone. My blood ran cold. Sophia had posted a blurry photo of me, red liquid streaking my dress, captioned, "When rich auntie needs to be taken down a peg, sorry not sorry, cheap ASF." Dozens of likes already, including Vanessa's, with laughing emojis in the comments. My sister had endorsed my public humiliation. Something snapped inside me. Not just hurt, but clarity, sharp and cold as a winter dawn. The need for their approval, the endless cycle of giving to be loved, the willingness to be their emotional punching bag, it all crumbled. I scrolled through my banking app, years of transactions glaring back. $47,632 in transfers to Vanessa, $31,408 in credit card charges for her spa days and designer bags, $36,000 for Sophia's car and its upkeep. Over $115,000 in 5 years, not counting smaller loans or Mom's emergencies. I'd been their ATM, and they'd mocked me for it. The dress, now a crimson ruin, hung in my bathroom as I picked up my phone. "First call, my credit card company. I need to remove an authorized user immediately," I said, voice calm but resolute. The representative was efficient, confirming Vanessa's access would end, a new card issued to me. "Any pending charges will process, but no new ones can be made," she assured. I thanked her, the weight of one burden lifting. Next, I called my lawyer friend Thomas, waking him at midnight. "Natalie, Kate told me about tonight. You okay?" he asked, concern thick in his voice. "Getting there," I replied. "I need advice about a car." I explained Sophia's sedan, bought in my name, insured by me, now used as her personal trophy. "You're on solid ground," Thomas said. "It's legally yours. Verbal promises to let her use it aren't binding." Relief surged, but guilt tugged too. Old programming that family obligations were sacred. I pushed it down. My final call was to a towing company, arranging to retrieve the car from Sophia's school lot the next morning. "I'll send proof of ownership," I said, emailing the registration. "Please be discreet." The dispatcher promised professionalism. As I hung up, I felt a strange mix of power and sorrow. I showered, scrubbing cranberry juice from my hair, the hot water washing away years of self-deception. My phone buzzed, texts from Kate, Jasmine, Daniel, checking in, offering support. I replied briefly, needing solitude to process. Opening my laptop, I began compiling evidence, bank statements, credit card bills, car documents. Tomorrow, I'd face my family, not as their savior, but as someone reclaiming her worth. The dress hung like a battle scar, a reminder that love shouldn't cost your soul. The morning after my birthday, I woke at dawn, the city's soft glow filtering through my apartment's windows, my stained dress still hanging in the bathroom like a ghost of last night's betrayal. The clarity from my midnight decisions burned steady, a quiet fire fueling my resolve. I sipped coffee, the bitter warmth grounding me, and reviewed my plan. Cut the financial cords, reclaim my property, and confront my family with the truth. My phone was silent for now, but I knew the storm was coming. Vanessa's fury when her credit card failed, Sophia's panic when her car vanished. For years, I'd been their safety net, catching every fall while they mocked my success. No more. The cranberry-soaked disaster had stripped away my illusions, leaving only the truth. I deserved respect, not resentment. If you're watching this, please share in the comments a time you had to take a stand against family expectations. You won't believe how I faced mine today. At exactly 8 a.m., I called the credit card company. "Good morning, this is Natalie Wells," I said, voice steady. "I need to remove an authorized user from my account immediately." The representative asked why. "Misuse for non-emergency expenses," I explained, thinking of Vanessa's $31,408 in charges for spa days and designer purses. "Understood, Miss Wells," she said. "The user's access is deactivated and will issue you a new card with a different number." The call took 10 minutes, severing a major artery of my sister's dependence. Next, I called Thomas, my lawyer friend, to confirm the car's status. "You're legally clear," he reiterated. "The sedan's in your name, registration, insurance, everything. You can reclaim it anytime." I thanked him, my confidence solidifying. Then I contacted the towing company, confirming the 7:30 a.m. pickup from Sophia's school lot. "We have your documentation," the dispatcher said. "Our driver will handle it discreetly." I emailed the registration again, my fingers steady despite the flicker of guilt. Family should help family, right? But help shouldn't mean exploitation. By 9:30, the first call hit. Vanessa's voice was shrill through the speaker. "Natalie, my card was declined at a gas station. There's a mistake." I took a deep breath, the Chicago skyline sharp outside my window. "No mistake, Vanessa. I removed you as an authorized user." Silence, then outrage. "You did what? It was just a stupid dinner. Your daughter humiliated me, ruined a $3,000 dress, and posted it online," I said, calm but firm. "You liked those posts. This isn't just about last night, it's years of unhealthy dependence." Her tone shifted to pleading. "I have bills, Natalie. Sophia needs dance shoes, Mom's prescriptions." The familiar guilt tugged, but I held firm. "You'll manage with your own income, like other adults. I'm available to talk in person at my apartment at 3 p.m. I hung up as she sputtered, my heart pounding but resolute. At 7:55, Sophia called, voice trembling. "My car's gone. Someone stole it from school." "It's not your car, Sophia," I corrected. "It's mine, bought, insured, registered by me. I've had it towed back." Her shock exploded into anger. "You can't do this. I need it for dance." "Humiliating me publicly and posting mocking videos isn't a joke," I said. "We can discuss this at 3. She sobbed, manipulative tears I'd heard before. "Please, Aunt Natalie, I'll delete the posts. My decision's final," I said, hanging up as she pleaded. My mother called next, her voice a practiced blend of disappointment and manipulation. "Natalie, taking Sophia's car and canceling Vanessa's card over a spilled drink? That's petty." "It was deliberate cruelty, Mom, and you comforted Sophia instead of addressing it," I replied. "Family helps each other," she insisted. "Not when it's one-sided and mocked," I countered. "We can talk at 3. I ended the call, her sigh lingering in my ears. I called my office, taking a personal day to focus, then met with my financial advisor, Janet, at 1. She pulled up a spreadsheet. $47,632 in transfers to Vanessa, $31,408 in credit card charges, $36,000 for Sophia's car and upkeep, $150,050 total over 5 years. "If you'd invested this," Janet said, "you'd have $122,000 more in your portfolio. Without these expenses, you could retire 5 years earlier." The numbers stunned me, but they also freed me. I returned home, laying out bank statements, credit card bills, and screenshots of Sophia's posts on my dining table. The towing company called at 11:30. "We've secured the vehicle," the dispatcher said. A young lady tried to stop us, but we showed your documentation. I added a tip for their professionalism, then ordered lunch, eating calmly as I prepared for the threed showdown. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of their disapproval. The cranberry stain had washed away my fear, leaving only a woman ready to claim her worth. The clock struck 2:55 p.m., and my apartment's intercom buzzed, security announcing Vanessa, Sophia, and Mom. My dining table was a battlefield of evidence: bank statements, credit card bills, car documents, and screenshots of Sophia's cruel social media posts. I straightened my shoulders, the Lake Michigan view behind me, a quiet reminder of the life I'd built. Last night's humiliation, Sophia's cranberry cocktail soaking my $3,000 dress, Vanessa's laughing emojis, Mom's enabling pat, had ignited a clarity I'd never known. For years, I'd been their ATM, pouring over $115,000 into their lives, only to be mocked as cheap. Today, I draw the line. The knock came, 3 sharp raps radiating fury. I opened the door to Vanessa's red face, Sophia's puffy eyes, and Mom's martyred expression. "Come in," I said, calm as the lake outside. "We have a lot to discuss. If you're watching this, please share in the comments a time you had to confront loved ones with hard truths. You won't believe how this showdown unfolded." Vanessa stormed in, barely containing her rage. "How dare you strand my daughter at school? Cancel my card without warning?" Sophia sulked behind, arms crossed, while Mom trailed with her usual disappointed sigh. "Sit," I said, gesturing to the table. Vanessa refused, hands on hips. "I'm not sitting until you explain yourself." "The car is mine, registered, insured, paid for," I replied evenly. "I allowed Sophia to use it, not own it." Mom stepped forward, playing peacemaker. "Natalie, I know you're upset about last night, but this is disproportionate." "Is it?" I asked, pulling out a chair and sitting. "Please sit. I want to show you something." Reluctantly, they sat, Sophia slumping defensively. I slid a folder forward. "These are my bank records for 5 years. Transfers to Vanessa, $47,632. Vanessa's eyes widened, but she stayed silent. "This is the credit card you used for emergencies," I continued, pushing another folder. "Charges total $31,418. Designer clothes, spa treatments, concerts, not emergencies." Mom cleared her throat. "Family helps family, Natalie. You've been blessed." "I've worked for every penny," I corrected. 60-hour weeks. Sacrificed relationships. Not luck, effort. I turned to the car documents. The sedan Sophia used, $32,000 plus $4,000 yearly for insurance and maintenance, all paid by me. Sophia stared at the table, her defiance wavering. "Total support, $115,050, I said. "Given out of love, met with resentment." I placed my tablet down, opening Sophia's social media. "This is how you repaid me." The screen showed her post. Me, drenched in cranberry juice, captioned, "Sorry not sorry, cheap as F." Videos followed, secretly recorded at dinner, zooming on my face as I opened Vanessa's $10 candle, captioned, "Auntie pretending to like dollar store trash fake." Vanessa's likes and laughing emojis glowed. "Sophia, explain why you thought this was okay," I said. She squirmed. "It was a joke. Everyone posts stuff like that." "A joke?" I asked. "Was I laughing when you ruined my dress? When you humiliated me publicly?" She muttered, "You can afford another one." "It's not about money," I said. "It's about respect, which you didn't show." I turned to Vanessa. "You liked these posts, encouraged her cruelty." "I didn't think it was serious," she said weakly. "And you, Mom," I said, facing her. "You comforted Sophia after she attacked me, as if I caused her distress." Mom looked confused. "She was upset because she humiliated me," I said, "and you enabled it." I stood, walking to the window, the city's pulse steadying me. "I've supported you all, financially, emotionally, for years, asking only for respect. Last night proved I can't expect that." Vanessa paled, sensing the shift. "So you're cutting us off?" "I'm setting boundaries," I said. "The credit card's canceled, the car's mine. Financial support ends, though Sophia's college fund remains for education." Sophia burst out. "How am I supposed to get to dance? School?" "Like other teens, bus, walk, friends," I said. "It's not fair." "Nor is being mocked by someone I've supported," I countered. Mom tried again. "Natalie, this feels like punishment. Family doesn't punish." "This isn't punishment," I said. "It's consequences for mistreating me." Vanessa looked stunned, the $115,050 figure sinking in. "Rent's due next week," she said. "I can't make it." "You'll find a way. Second job, roommate," I replied. Sophia's eyes widened. You're not taking the college fund? It's for your education, always was, I said. But everything else stops. Mom fell back on guilt. I can't believe you'd do this to family. What have you done for me, Mom? I asked. Celebrated my successes? Supported me? Or just taken? Silence. Vanessa shifted tactics. Okay, we messed up, we're sorry. What fixes this? Not a hasty apology, I said. This is decades of broken patterns, trust takes time. I gathered the documents, reflect on what you've taken versus given, how you've treated me, then decide if I'm worth respect. I opened the door. I love you, but I won't accept disrespect anymore. They filed out, Vanessa angry, Sophia scared, Mom uncertain. As the door closed, I felt free, the weight of obligation gone, ready to face whatever came next on my terms. The days after the confrontation felt like stepping onto new ground, the air sharp with both loss and possibility. My apartment, once a refuge from family demands, now felt like a command center where I'd reclaimed my life. The silence from Vanessa, Sophia, and Mom was deafening at first, their texts flooding my phone with anger, pleas, and guilt trips. You're heartless, Vanessa wrote. I'm sorry, please, Aunt Natalie, Sophia begged. Mom's messages dripped with disappointment. Family doesn't abandon family. I responded only to direct questions, my replies factual, refusing to be drawn into their emotional traps. The cranberry-stained dress, still hanging in my bathroom, was a reminder of why I'd drawn this line. $150,050 in support, years of disrespect, and a public humiliation that finally broke me. Yet, amid the guilt that tugged like an old habit, a lightness grew, as if I'd shed a weight I hadn't known I carried. If you're watching this, please share in the comments a time you set a boundary and felt both pain and freedom. You won't believe how my family began to change. The first month was chaos. Vanessa's texts escalated from rage to desperation, demanding I reinstate her credit card. Sophia sent sobbing voicemails about missing dance practice without her car. Mom called daily, her voice heavy with accusations of pettiness. I held firm, my responses brief. We discussed this at my apartment. My decision stands. By week 3, the messages slowed, then stopped for 2 weeks, a silence that felt like both a wound and a gift. I filled my days with new energy, signing up for a photography class I'd always wanted, my evenings spent capturing Chicago's golden hour along the lake. My financial advisor, Janet, updated my portfolio. Without the $150,050 drain, I could buy a vacation home or retire 5 years early. The numbers were a revelation, my future expanding like the horizon beyond my windows. My friends, Kate, Jasmine, Daniel, Ryan, checked in often, their support a warm contrast to my family's cold withdrawal. Then, a shift. A text from Sophia at 6 weeks. Got a job at the mall. Saving for a car, not asking for money, just wanted you to know. No demands, no manipulation, just a fact. My heart lifted. I'm proud of you, I replied. That's not easy. According to Mom's hesitant updates, Sophia was working weekends, busing to school, and applying to state colleges with dance programs. Her social media posts changed too. No more mocking videos, just selfies at work or with friends, her captions about earning her own way. Vanessa took longer. Mom reported cycles of anger and depression, but by month 3, Vanessa had landed a job as an office manager, moved to a smaller apartment, and started night classes in accounting. When she finally texted, her words surprised me. Thank you for forcing me to stand on my own. I needed the push. I stared at the message, the city lights twinkling outside, and replied, I'm glad you're finding your way. It wasn't forgiveness yet, but a start. Mom was the hardest. Decades of favoring Vanessa and dismissing me didn't unravel easily. Our weekly calls began stiffly, her slipping into old habits. Vanessa's struggling without your help. I redirected gently. I'm glad she's got that new job. That must help. Slowly, she shifted, asking about my work, my photography, my life, with a curiosity I'd never heard before. One call, she caught me off guard. You sound happier, Natalie. I am, I said. Setting boundaries has been good. She paused. I wish I'd seen you better before. Not an apology, but close. By month 5, we started monthly dinners at Mom's house. Simple meals, no extravagance. Just us relearning how to be together. Sophia brought college brochures, her eyes bright with plans. Vanessa shared stories of her job, her voice free of resentment. Mom listened to my work updates without pivoting to Vanessa's struggles. These dinners weren't perfect, old tensions flickered, but they were honest, grounded in effort rather than obligation. My own life bloomed. I dated again, no longer tethered to family crises. I took a weekend trip to Michigan, the spa package from Daniel and Ryan a perfect escape. My photography class led to a small gallery showing, my shots of Lake Michigan earning quiet praise. The absence of financial strain felt like breathing for the first time in years. I'd check my bank account and marvel, no transfers to Vanessa, no surprise credit card charges. The car, now parked in my garage, was a symbol of my reclaimed autonomy. Sophia's transformation stood out most. At one dinner, she pulled me aside. "I'm sorry for what I did at your birthday," she said, eyes meeting mine. I was jealous. Your life looked easy and mine felt so hard. "It was never easy," I said. "I just made different choices." She nodded. "Work's teaching me that. Earning my own money feels good." I smiled, seeing her growth, the college funds still waiting for her future. We were rebuilding, slowly, on a foundation of respect, not resentment. As my 35th birthday approached, I hesitated. The memory of last year's cranberry-soaked disaster still vivid, the sting of Sophia's cruelty, Vanessa's betrayal, Mom's enabling silence. But Kate's voice echoed, "You can't let one night steal your joy forever." So I planned a modest gathering at Mom's house. No glittering restaurants or designer dresses, just family, friends, and a home-cooked meal. The past 6 months had reshaped us. Sophia working at the mall, Vanessa standing on her own, Mom learning to see me clearly. We'd stumbled through tense dinners and careful phone calls, rebuilding something fragile but real. My apartment, once a fortress against family demands, now felt open, a space for my own growth. Photography, dating, a 2-week trip to Italy I'd dreamed of for years. Tonight, I'd celebrate not just a birthday, but a new beginning, grounded in mutual respect. If you're watching this, share in the comments how you reclaimed a moment tarnished by pain. You won't believe how this night unfolded, soft and healing. I arrived at Mom's house, the familiar scent of her roasted chicken filling the air, a childhood comfort I hadn't savored in years. The table was set simply. Mismatched plates, a bouquet of grocery store flowers, but it felt right, unpretentious. Kate, Jasmine, Daniel, and Ryan arrived with warm hugs, their presence a steady anchor. Vanessa came next, her smile tentative but genuine, followed by Sophia, who carried a handmade card, her fingers smudged with ink from the effort. Mom bustled in the kitchen, her apron dusted with flour, her face softer than I'd seen in years. We sat, the room alive with chatter, no trace of last year's venom. Sophia shared her college applications, her voice bright with plans for dance programs at state schools. "I'm aiming for scholarships," she said, glancing at me. "The trust fund's still there, right?" I nodded. "Always for your education." Her relief was palpable, a quiet thank you in her eyes. Vanessa talked about her accounting classes, her new job's stability. "It's hard," she admitted, "but I'm managing." I felt a flicker of pride, not for saving her, but for her own steps forward. Mom served the food, chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, my favorites from childhood. The simplicity was a balm. No need for Alenia's gold leaf desserts to prove my worth. My friends shared stories, their laughter weaving a warmth that held us all. When toasts came, I braced myself. Last year's half-hearted words still sharp. Mom stood first, surprising me, her voice steady. To Natalie, who had the courage to show us a better way to be family, who loved us enough to stop enabling our worst selves. "I'm proud of you, truly." My throat tightened, her words the apology I'd needed for decades. Vanessa raised her glass next. "To my sister, who made me face myself." "I'm sorry, and I'm trying," Sophia followed, her voice small but clear. "To Aunt Natalie, for giving me a chance to grow up." Glasses clinked, emotions rippling through the room. I blinked back tears, raising my own. To all of us, learning together. The gifts were simple, heartfelt. Kate and Jasmine gave me a framed photo from my gallery showing a shot of Lake Michigan at dawn. Daniel and Ryan offered a cookbook for Italian recipes, a nod to my trip. Vanessa's gift was a scarf, soft and within her budget, wrapped with care. Sophia handed me her card. Drawings of dance shoes and a heartfelt note. "I'm sorry for last year. Thank you for believing in me." As dinner wound down, Sophia pulled me aside, pressing an envelope into my hand. "For my job," she said. "It's not much, but it's for the car, the dress, everything." Inside was $200, crisp bills carefully counted. "You don't need to," I began, but she cut me off. "I want to. It's about respect." I took it, not for the money, but for what it meant. her accountability, her growth. We hugged, her arms tight, a bridge rebuilt. As guests left, Mom took my hand. "I failed you," she said softly. "I favored Vanessa, took your strength for granted. I'm sorry." Tears fell, hers and mine, decades of pain acknowledged at last. Driving home, the city lights soft against the night, I felt whole. The journey had been brutal. $150 spent, a dress ruined, a family broken, but it led here to mutual respect, to love that didn't demand my sacrifice. The night ended quietly, the hum of my car blending with the city's gentle pulse, a contrast to last year's chaos. I parked, the Lake Michigan breeze cool through my open window, carrying the scent of water and freedom. My family's faces lingered. Sophia's earnest eyes, Vanessa's cautious hope, Mom's regret turned to care. We'd stumbled, fought, and grown, learning that love thrives on equality, not obligation. The $200 envelope sat on my passenger seat, a symbol of Sophia's change, of boundaries that healed us all. I'd found my own path too, photography, travel, a life no longer tethered to their crises. Pain had forged this peace, a truth I'd carry forward. If you've walked this road, setting limits with those you love, know you're not alone. Sometimes saying no is the greatest gift, a whisper of strength that rebuilds what was broken.